Okay, I got Mr. Khalid in the queue.
So I do have questions about House Bill 921, which I understand passed out of committee and is headed to the Senate. So it's on its way to becoming law. That is about, well, could you please tell me what House Bill 921 is?
Before you go any farther, is that a part of your report? Because I'm asking for your report.
For the city attorney's report?
Yes.
That is not a part of the report.
Well, that's not germane.
Right. So, I mean, I don't have a report on that. I just opened this up. I know there were questions that came up. It's your discretion whether I answer those questions or not.
Is whose discretion? Because I specifically asked for, that's why I specifically asked for you to.
Well, it's the council's discretion. I mean, I'll discuss it if that's your desire, but it's your collective call.
So I would like to make a motion to discuss House Bill 921, House Bill 965, and House Bill 986 that have been introduced at the state legislature without speaking to any of us to change our charter.
Mayor, point of order.
Excuse me.
I request a point of order.
Are we making that change to the agenda based on an emergency? If not being on as an emergency, then it's not germane, and I will not accept change.
With all due respect, Mayor, as the bill has passed the House and will be up for vote
Mayor,
and will pass into legislation before our next council meeting, I do think that it is an emergency.
Madam Attorney.
Mayor, I call for a point of order.
Excuse me. I heard you. Excuse me.
Okay.
And I'll get to you.
Okay.
My question to you, this is the same as a walk-on, and it says, in the event of an emergency. Do you consider this discussion, which started with your discussion about your attorney, consider a situation where there's an emergency to mark onto this agenda?
So I'm hesitant. I mean, I don't think it's my place to give you my opinion. I do have an opinion about the House bill, but I don't think it's my place to give you that opinion.
What does no, ma'am. What does the charter clearly says? I'm just telling you what the charter says, and I'm saying that it does not qualify for me as an emergency to be walked in now. It's clearly not a part of your discussion when we have your city attorney's report. It was clearly not a part of your discussion.
So that is correct. I do not have a report that I've prepared to advise the council on those House bills. It's my understanding that one of the council members has asked me to report on it, and that's your call. If you guys collectively agree that we want to report on that, then I can answer it to the extent you have questions. If you don't collectively agree, then I don't plan to say anything. Okay,
let me do this. We have a point of order with Ms. Willis, and then we'll go to the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for recognizing my point of order. My point of order is, at the work session, Attorney Walker suggested that we discuss items that wanted to be discussed in executive session. The items that were supposed to be discussed in executive session was around litigation and the review of ordinances and resolutions that was in the pipeline. This discussion about what's going on at the General Assembly is not on the agenda and is not germane.
Can I speak? Get in the queue. Mr. Khalid, you're in the queue.
There's just a motion on the floor. I think we're in discussion now. But I mean, I'm prepared to vote if I'm prepared to vote.
Okay. Ms. Gilliard, go ahead.
We didn't have executive session. We didn't have executive session. We did not have executive session today.
We can have it afterwards.
That's right.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I think that there was a comment that about it there's some discussion during executive session, but we didn't have it today.
But we can have it afterwards.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Am I correct? All right, let's.
Yeah, I just wanted to be recognized. Do I have the floor, sir?
Yes.
Okay. No, we didn't have an executive session, but the last time we were here, we were attempting to walk an item on at the very last item on the agenda. That wasn't germane, and it wasn't an emergency. And we just spoke earlier about transparency, and only 2 people who came up to the podium spoke about those House bills, which means the majority of the individuals here, as well as those individuals who are not present and probably viewing from home, may not have any idea what we're speaking of. And I think that we owe it to the public to not just go in the back to talk about a House bill that is passing and will pass before we're before them again. I think it's only fair to have that discussion. We're not going into any litigation, which would probably not allow us to discuss it in executive session anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll hear from Ms. Rao, and then we'll call for the vote.
I think we have a number of people have opinions on this legislation. I think we should try to find a way to have a conversation with the other parties, our delegation, to see if we can work through these issues. I think our citizens are looking for that level of leadership, that we can get in a room and have a conversation face to face and discuss these bills that are pending in the General Assembly. And so I would just ask my colleagues to let's figure out how to make that happen.
I think that's appropriate. I really think that's appropriate. We have a motion on the floor. Let's vote.
I can't vote now.
Mr. Mayor, I know you called for the vote,
Well, let me just get the vote. Let me carry the motion. That motion fails for lack of vote.
The motion is to discuss House Bill 921, 965, and 986.
Yes.
It was motioned by Councilmember Khalid and second by Councilmember Baker.
And it failed for lack of full votes.
No, we didn't vote.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Could I have my points?
You sure can.
I just wanted to say, well, actually, before the mayor called the vote, and with respect to Dr. Rao, this is going to be something that would have passed before we're before you again. And many residents are still in the dark and have no idea what we just didn't discuss. And this is our government, and this is the lack of transparency that some of you guys speak about often, and I think that it's unfair.